when you're in there for a minute and the writers start to trust you and you're doing good work as an assistant, you get to pitch things. You get to participate a little more in actually creating the story. Sure. Well, I started out working for like a mini studio that financed and produced movies and TV called Media Rights Capital, and they would finance and produce a show or a movie and then sell the distribution rights to another studio or network for TV. And so I was answering the phones for the guys that ran the company, and I was scheduling all their meetings, making sure everything ran on time. Um, but you're sort of at the nexus. You're at a nexus of the business. You get to read a lot of scripts. You get to listen to your boss's phone calls when they're talking to big creatives. So I got to listen to my bosses talk with huge directors and writers, and sort of see how the business really works and develop your sense of taste. And honestly, like reading the scripts was the biggest part of it for me. I mean, I read every single thing that came through the door almost. I probably read 6 scripts a week for 5 years. So I really sort of developed a voice, and then I was always writing at night, um, and then from there I became the writer's room assistant on House of Cards, and that's a different beast. You're sitting in the writer's room with the people who are the writers on the show, and everyone's pitching ideas, and your job is to take copious notes and kind of keep the ideas that are propelling the show forward organized. We're talking about a specific episode or a specific storyline, like you're sort of the keeper of the show almost, which is also an incredible job for an aspiring writer because it's almost like the entire show actually passes through you. And you get a really great sense from senior writers, how to pitch story, how to solve story problems, how to talk about character, and really just like the craft of making television. And then when you're in there for a minute and the writers start to trust you and you're doing good work as an assistant, you get to pitch things. You get to participate a little more in actually creating the story.
Creed to never let the story become about them.
Jesus, Alex, what are you doing? Stop it.
I would say I agree with that.
And yet this has become about you.
On morning show, our showrunner Charlotte Stout, who is an amazing leader, she really trusted people with their episodes to sort of craft, like there was a lot of individual work with her guiding you and then bringing problems and big ideas and like sort of the broad ideas of the episode are sort of solved by all the writers in the room. And then at some point all writers, like, you have to go off and work by yourself, and then you bring your ideas back to the room and you bring your problems back to the room. So there the process I've found is always extremely collaborative, but also very individual, because at some point you do have to go off by yourself and find some magic. You can't talk things to death. And I think that when you do find something unexpected that's really good, for the most part, if it works in the broader arc of the story, the showrunner can see it right away, and they know that that the thing you've invented actually works really well within the broader arc of the story. And I think a part of that is also you're in the room every day talking about the whole season with all the other writers who are working on it. So you have a really good idea of what's going to work in your individual episode.
Look at the bigger picture.
I think I see what you're getting at. Kern first?
That's how you devour a whale, Doug. One bite at a time.